For years, I've been suffering from severe ulcerative colitis. I've been through every possible biologic drug made. I've been in and out of hospitals, and I have been suffering to no end. Because I had the good fortune of meeting and becoming a patient of Dr. Deborah Nagle from Stony Brook, who's the chief of surgery, colorectal surgery. I'm sitting here right now being able to have this discussion and tell you about myself. Dr. Nagle not only is a fabulous and very talented surgeon, she literally saved my life and has been there every step of the way and is there now. At any time when I need her, I simply just pick up the phone, I can reach her, and I know that I am in the absolute best care with her and with Stony Brook University Hospital. I will never go to any other hospital than Stony Brook. It's where I'm comfortable, it's who I trust, and who has proven themselves to me over and over again. The main point of this is I felt very strongly that I needed people to know what experience I had with the nurses at Stony Brook. It was just too incredible to just send a little thank you note. Each day, whenever a nurse came into the room, whoever it was, I was treated with an overabundance of concern and kindness, and words can hardly express how this helped my healing, as well as my mental attitude to push through. No one was ever too busy to attend any of my needs, and to say that I am grateful for the care that I received would be a huge understatement. I very much would like to point out some of these nurses. They were not only masterful at their jobs, but consistently went above and beyond in helping me through every day and making me feel cared about every step of the way. I consider these nurses my guardian angels. I'd like to start with Candice. Candice would not only show me kindness, she would make me laugh on a regular basis with her outgoing and humorous attitude and she was the one who showed me the tough love. And what happened was, when you have a surgery like I had, you wake up and you have this bag attached to you. And when the bag would become filled and needed to be emptied, I'd ring for the nurse. The nurse would come in and I'd say, my bag needs to be emptied. It was humiliating, it was mortifying, but it had to be done. Well, after several days, I rang for the nurse, and Candice came in and she said, hey, Tony, what's up? And I said, Candice, my bag needs to be emptied. She says, oh, okay, come on. And I looked at her, what do you mean, come on? She said, come on, let's go into the bathroom. And I said, yeah, right. She says, no, come on, you're gonna do it. And I looked at Candice and I said, I can't do it. She said, oh, you can do it. And in fact, Tony, you will do it because I won't do it. And I'll tell you something else. Not only will I not do it, I have instructed every nurse on this floor. They are forbidden to empty your pouch. And I looked at her. And while someone else might have carried on and gotten terribly upset, I instantly knew what she was doing. I instantly knew that what she was saying was, if you don't get up and do it, you're never going to be able to take care of yourself. And this was an example of tough love that I just feel I could never repay her for. And I did get up, and I did do it. And now I don't think twice about taking care of myself. I can change the appliance now. I have everything I need. It's become second nature. It's not really a big deal. And until such time as I have the reversal and no longer need this attached to me, it's not a problem at all. And I'm very grateful to Candice. I'd like to mention Stacy. Stacy would never hesitate to just sit and visit and talk and listen. And if something was upsetting me or I was concerned, she would just help me talk it out. She just showed that she cared. She's amazing, and she is the nursing supervisor on the floor. But there was never a time when Stacy was just too busy. No one there was just too busy. I have to mention Christina and Leslie, who I describe as Wonder Women. Leslie was the one who I don't know if I'd recognize her without a smile on her face. Always happy, always cheerful, always laughing, and one of the funniest people I've ever met. Everything was just so carefree. Everything was just, it's going to be great. And you hear that enough, and you really believe it. And that's what happens. Everything does become great when you're surrounded by people like that. There are two more people I'd like to mention. One is Shannen. Whenever Shannen would come into my room, again, never without a smile, even through her mask, her eyes would always light up when she saw me. I always had the impression that when Shannen came in, she felt like she was visiting a friend. And she would never leave the room without saying, "Tony, what else do you need? What else can I do for you before I go on to see another patient?" Anything at all. It could have been just ice. It could have been just anything. But Shannen was one of those who would even stop by when her shift ended just to say goodnight. And that just means so much. And then the last one, and the only male of the group that I'm talking about, whose name is Alex. This young man, he had a calling. He had a calling for nursing. Alex was another nurse who would come and just want to do anything to make me more comfortable. Immediately after my surgery, I couldn't even boost myself up enough just to get a little more into a sitting position. That's how weak I was. Alex would think nothing of it. "Tone, you want to sit up a little bit?" And he'd take me by the shoulders and he'd just pull me into position. "You comfortable? Let me get you another pillow." That was Alex. And when the nurses would leave my room, all I could think of was, how lucky am I that I have these incredible people, and I was fortunate enough to be at Stony Brook, where all of these people worked. And as I've said to my wife many times, I don't care what the emergency happens to be, whether it's related to my situation now or anything in the future. You'll never take me to any other hospital.